Hello, my name is Jenelle Garcia, and as most of us might know, the presidential elections are slowly getting closer to an end, becoming less intense and becoming more serious as the candidates make this final stretch into the last part of campaigning for this year. My thesis is in this disagreement with the New York Times editorial, specifically the author of this New York Times editorial, quote, "Donald Trump drags Bill Clinton's baggage out," end quote, claiming the way that the presidential candidates attacking each other, specifically Donald Trump going after other candidates, is really uncalled for and in the wrong. I believe, in my opinion, that this really does show the true character and personality of the candidates as they continue in this race, in and out of office, and who just might be the best potential candidate as we see their reactions to different attackings of the same party and throughout different parties. In this speech, I will talk about three main points of disagreement with the author of this editorial, starting off with Donald Trump bringing out the past issues of Bill Clinton's scandal and how it could really be beneficial to the American voter and for their knowledge of who might be the next president of the United States. Second, I will talk about how Hillary Clinton herself is playing this same game of attacking the candidates as well. The author seems to be taking the side of Hillary Clinton, but it kind of goes against her stance, as we'll discover more as I talk later on in this speech. To end this all, I believe through all of these arguments and personal attacks, this really reveals the personality and character of the candidates of who just might be our next president and be beneficial to the voter more than this author might realize. To start us off, Donald Trump bringing out the past issues of Bill Clinton's scandal could be beneficial to the individuals and American voter. The author of this New York Times editorial makes a good claim, but for the wrong reasons. The position the author of this editorial takes is looked at as Donald Trump being in the wrong for bringing out this true scandal that did happen. As a dagger to hopefully lose voters for Hillary Clinton. Yes, Hillary Clinton was not in office, but her husband was, but she was a part. Hopefully making Donald Trump think that somehow she could lose voters. So, in the article Manipulation of Voting Schemes, a General Result, it tells that with this news that Bill Clinton went through, it really is up to the voter in the end of how they're going to take it with, quote, "Now this depends on voters' outcome through misrepresentation," end quote. Ultimately bringing the result back to the voter themselves on if they're going to take this knowledge as a grain of salt or just continue voting for Hillary and not vote for Hillary Clinton and think this is the worst idea ever. So, second, as Hillary Clinton takes personal attacks from Donald Trump, she also returns the fire against her other opponents. This editorial goes against her own stance in this paragraph of, quote, "and has repeatedly gone after Republican candidates," end quote, proving against the claim that she's trying to make in this editorial. I believe that this evidence was not sufficient for this claim. The specific example just proves right there that it goes against what she was trying to go for in the first place. To close this all off, through all of these arguments and personal attacks, I believe this really reveals the personality and character of our potential president of the United States from another party or an individual of that same party. This revelation can be beneficial to voters in America. According to the study Beyond Learning and Persona, extending the scope of presidential debate effects, when voters watched the 2000 presidential election debates, they saw that Bush reacted in certain ways against questions, attacks, and positions in which, quote, "enhance perceptions of his character," end quote, showing that voters do really pay attention to the person they're voting for their character and personality. So, it might be really awesome to just continue to really see how people react and how they don't react whenever they're under fire and under pressure, even when they're out of office, because it just questions what they might react when they're in office. In closing, in this speech, I have talked about my three main points of disagreement with the author of this New York Times editorial. My thesis that this type of election really can bring out the best in your knowledge of the candidates and who you just might be picking as your next president of the United States, and is more beneficial to the American voter than this author might realize. When watching these fiery attacks, I strongly encourage you to be asking and really thinking about how your candidate is responding under pressure and in these attacks, and how they would handle certain issues when in office. Again, my name is Jenelle Garcia, and I hope you have enjoyed.